Alright. See if the stream's working. Yep. Audio is working, chat's up, stream's up, we're all good to go. Fantastic. Well, hopefully this won't take too long. We are starting a little bit earlier now, just for this week. Thanks to New Zealand shifting to daylight savings time a little bit early. That's okay. I think everyone got the memo. Should have everyone in very shortly. Yeah, I think we should be set for a pretty full grid. Hopefully. We certainly have enough drivers for a full grid. So hopefully everyone can arrive on time and hop into their appropriate liveries, although looking at all the different colours being displayed, this might be a bit of another headache night. People having the same colour makes it more difficult for me. It's alright. There's 2 drivers away now. Al and Cohen in the lobby, that's good. That's the car for more. It seems that a couple of drivers struggling. Jinbin's just arrived and Sneaky's game just shut down, so he'll be here in a minute. Hello, Wheezy. Yeah. Huey's been performing pretty decently over the course of this season. Some really solid results. It's nice to show your support. Currently in the top 10 in the championship as well. Sitting 8th. And against competition like that, it's a pretty good effort. You got some pretty top quality drivers in here. Very tough to beat. Shouldn't be too far away now, surely. Have we got everyone? Yep. I think the ready up signal has been given. Looks like it. Alrighty, when the timer hits 0, I'll start up my intro as per normal. Or maybe not. Oh no, there's a ready up signal now. For some reason the timer reset, don't know why. Doesn't matter. But as I said, when the timer hits 0, I'll do my spiel and we'll get into qualifying. Someone dropped out. Not quite sure who that was. Hopefully they're able to rejoin as soon as possible. Hello everyone and welcome to round 6 of the Pacific Tier 1 Championship here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Lane Everingham, your commentator for this event, and for tonight we'll be competing at Suzuka International Racing Course for the Japanese Grand Prix. Constructed in 1962 and designed by famed architect John Hugenholtz, the circuit was originally created as a testing and proving ground for the latest technology developed by the Honda Motor Company. Over the decades, the circuit's popularity grew, and it eventually gained itself an audience with the world of Formula One in 1987. Since then, the racetrack is now often considered to be not just one of the best racetracks in Asia, but also in the world. It measures up at 5.81 kilometers, consists of 18 turns and a single DRS zone that leads down the main straightaway into the primary overtaking spot of turn 1. Not that they'll be using it in qualifying, it is bucketing it down here at Suzuka. Drivers can also try and pass into the hairpin at turn 11 and into the Casio Triangle Chicane at turns 16 and 17. And if it's going to continue raining into the race, they're going to have to make use of those unique overtaking areas. But obviously, with a small amount of opportunities, it's obvious to understand then that qualifying will be important for achieving victory today. But it is going to be an awfully difficult session indeed. Before we fully focus on qualifying though, there is a bit of news to go through first from last week's race at Singapore. Now, I looked everywhere in the reports. There were reports submitted, but there weren't any steward verdicts at all messaged in the Discord. So I don't know if positions have changed or not. From what I understand, the provisional results that we got at the end of that race weekend last week have remained completely unchanged. In the Drivers' Championship, it's GeForce Crichton who was leading the way on 102 points. Now only 2 points in front of Potsy on an even 100. Big Al rounds out the top three on 92 points. So pretty tight between the top three. And Ryan Bell isn't too far behind on 73 points. In the Teams' Championship, it's Mercedes-AMG leading the way on 136. Over AlphaTauri, they're on 117, followed by McLaren on 109. Red Bull Racing are next, just 6 points behind on 103. Then Aston Martin round out the top 5 on 85 points. Now, that's pretty much all the news I have out of the way. We can now focus on this session. Sneaky will be the first car to attempt a flying lap here. It's intermediate conditions. You can see the intermediate tyre on that Verstappen-mobile. No one's on the wets, so we don't need that tyre graphic. Gonna ride on board, give you a tour of this iconic 5.8 kilometre racetrack, and it doesn't start well. Sideways through the triangle. Needs to get it pointed back in the right direction. He does. Lights it up, gets it going. We begin his flying lap. Down the main straightaway we go, heading towards turn 1. Shifting into top gear, we're building up to a speed of 314 kilometers an hour and completely missing turn 2. There we go. That's how easy it is, dearie V. I want to find a pink car, SV I believe it is, on the lap, into turn 1, 308, and he's going to miss. Oh no, he pulls it up. I thought he was going to miss turn 2 as well, but no, he pulled that thing up quite well. Out of turn 2, around the left of 3, then the right of 4. Slow car ahead. That would be Sneaky in the Verstappen, but no, it's not. It's a Williams. It just looked like a Red Bull car. It wasn't. It was a Williams going very, very slowly there. Out of Dunlop curve, turn 7. We head up towards the Degner curve, turn 8. Breaking down to 6th gear, clip the apex, and head into turn 9. Underneath the overpass where it's nice and dry. Through turn 10 and into the hairpin, that is Kobayashi corner. This is turn 11. 3rd gear, nice and steady on the power. We head around 200R, turn 12. Absolutely flat out, even in these conditions, it's flat out around turn 12. Into Spoon now, turns 13 and then 14. It tightens up quite a bit here. Have to be careful when applying the power in these conditions, and SV does a pretty nice job. Down this back straightaway of sorts, this will end the middle sector. We now head into the final one. Around the left-hander, that is 130R, a very, very tricky corner in these conditions. But SV takes it quite well. Sneaky sets the benchmark. That should be beaten. Stevenson goes to the top with a 37.5. SV here will cross the line to complete our lap. Does a 38.2. Other cars out on track. We've got Ryan Bell jumping to the top with a 36.8. Nick does a 38.5. Reese Cohen making his way through the first sector. Bags Liddell heading around Degner and into turn 9. Batemay jumps up to P2 with a 36.8. He is 400ths off Ryan Bell's provisional pole time. Got GeForce Leo out on track. We've got Luke Rockford out on track as well. This is Potsy, by the way. I'm almost certain that's Potsy. He's just got a different name because he likes to be frustrating. As we head up towards the Casio Triangle Chicane. Drops it down to 4th gear, down to 3rd. Gets on the power. Nice and steady through there and around the final turn back onto the main straightaway. He will do a 37.6 for fastest for him. It's always super sketch going through that final corner in these conditions. Don't have a lot of grip available to you. It's so easy to lose the back end of the car. Let's head through the chicane. Then 16 and 17 and around the final corner. Again, sketch. This time from Bags Liddell. He'll cross the line to set a 37.9. Goes 5th fastest. He'd be happy with that for the moment. But Seb Al on track. So Matt Plevy. Got Crichton. He's invalidated his run. Big Al's on a run. As Sneaky jumps to the top. He beats Bell by a 10th of a second to set a 36.757. So it's nice and tight at the top between the top three for the moment. As Bell, he now jumps up to the top with a 35.9. So evidently then the conditions must be improving every minute here. So the track's drying out, there's less moisture on it, and the times are going to tumble over the course of this qualifying session. Potsy finishing a lap 36.8 is the time he's done. We got Sneaky around at Dunlop Curve. Parks it in the gravel trap. Needs to be careful while rejoining. There's a car that spun off behind him. It's not Potsy. Who is it? Is it Jinbin perhaps? Hard to say. Honestly, the multiplayer cars make this so much more difficult than it needs to be. It's a shame, but it's what we have to work around with for the moment until Codemasters come up with a fix to the current issues they have right now. We head around, the final corner, a tad bit sideways there from Al. Across the line to set a 36.5, goes P2 with that lap time. GeForce Crichton, our championship leader, heading into Spoon Curve, turns 13 and 14 on the racetrack, 4th gear. Modulates the throttle and brake quite well as we head on to the back straightaway towards the middle sector split. Got a tribute livery Alfa Romeo just in front. He shouldn't impede all that much, I'd imagine. As we head up towards the Casio Triangle chicane. Drops down to 3rd gear, sideways, compromises turn 17. Around the final corner now, and he bails on the lap. He's not happy with it. So yet to set a lap tie, and we've only got 10 minutes left in qualifying. We've got Ryan Bell out on track in the Germany mobile. Fascinating to see what he can do. Big Al is currently up by 0.2 of a second. Matt Plevy jumps up to P2 with a 36.4, but no one's challenging Bell for the moment. Big Al, though, he's up by a decent amount. Is he pushing? No, he's actually bailed on the lap. He's actually riding the brake and the throttle at the same time just to maintain tyre temperature. Huey's jumped up to P4 with a 36.6. It is quite tight, not going to lie, from Plevy all the way down to what, about P14? That's 1 second. And around a track this long in these conditions, quite impressive. That's pretty impressive as well there from Bell. He was completely sideways through that first sector, drifting the car through. He's well down, but I reckon he's having fun, just chucking the thing sideways. Appears that Matt might still be on a push here. Let's have a look at the battery. No, he's not. He's just recharging the battery at the moment. Big Al making his way through the S's here. He's beginning a lap. Round turn 4, then turn 5. Left-hander here. And turn 6. He might not actually be on a push. No, he is. Just consumed a bit of battery then. I was paying attention to the battery to see if he was using any of it. He is indeed using battery. First sector. He's up by 0.3 of a second. That's a decent improvement. Underneath the overpass. Up towards the hairpin at Kobayashi Corner. Bringing it down to 4th, down to 3rd gear. Gets the car rotated. No slippage coming out of the hairpin either. That car looked pretty stable. We head out of 200R now and towards Spoon. Potsy jumps up to P2 with a 36.1. Now making his way out to Spoon now down this back straightaway. What will the clock say for Big Al? Has he found even more time? He's currently 3/10 up. He's now 4/10 up. So he's looking at quite a low 36 at this stage. Needs to find another 10th to try and challenge Ryan Bell for provisional pole position. Gets it through the chicane quite well. Now around the final corner. Up towards the line. Big Al will set a 36.0. He jumps to the front row. It's not enough for provisional pole as Matt Plevy's crashed. He's crashed. Coming out of turn 9. There he is there. He's lost control of the back of the car and he slammed it into the wall. He'd be furious with himself too. He's looked quite good over the course of this session so far and he's going to tumble down the order. Ekins just jumped up to P3 with a 36.1. SV beginning a flying lap heading towards turns 1 and 2. It's quite surprising still how much speed you can carry into turn 1. Even in these conditions, you can really send it in. Reese Cohen just in front. He's not on a lap, he's on a in-lap. Batemate was towards the front earlier in the session. And the Verstappen mobile, he's making his way through the first sector. Sebastian Spicer up by a 10th in the first sector, heading up towards the middle sector split. He's in a very nice Aston Martin inspired livery, as you can tell. Clock says he's up by 4/10 of a second, so a decent improvement. 3 corners left on the lap. The chicane, 16 and 17, third gear. Modulating the throttle around the final corner. He bails on the lap, decides not to complete it. Bags going slowly at the moment, trying to get out of the way. RBR has joined the session. Jinbin making his way around Kobayashi corner. Currently P18 with a 37.9. But he's not last. This man's currently last. GeForce Crichton, our championship leader, yet to set a lap time. He's about to set one now. Crosses the line to set a 35.7. He jumps to provisional pole, takes it by just under 2/10 of a second, with just over 5.5 minutes left in qualifying. There should be enough time for him to go back into the pits and put on another set of tyres if need be. He's not on a second push lap. You can tell by the fact he's not using any battery. So he might go back to pit lane, put on one final set and have another go. Baymay jumps up to P6 with a 36.2. So timing's everything in this qualifying session. The later you do your final lap, the better off you'll be. Problem is, every single driver in this lobby will know that. They'll all be pushing the clock to the extreme. They don't want to go out too early, otherwise they won't get the best of the conditions. But ultimately some drivers will have to. GeForce Nick making his way through the first sector. Fourth gear. Being nice and careful with the accelerator. Keeping the car very stable indeed. As he heads out of Dunlop, heads towards Degner. Up by a 10.5 as he heads towards turn 9. Third gear, short shifts up to fourth. Keeps it on the curb, doesn't go beyond it. Don't want to go skateboarding over the top of that curb on the outside of turn 9. It's quite nasty. I wouldn't be surprised if Plevy did that, and that ultimately resulted in his retirement from qualifying. It's a very, very nasty curb indeed. Round turn 13, turn 14. The form spoon runs a bit too wide. That's all it takes. It's a small mistake. Ryan Bell, he does the same. Pushing too hard at turn 2. Ruins the lap. He'll turn off the battery. He'll conserve the tyres as well as best he can. Doesn't want to remove too much tread too soon. He's got enough time left in the session to try and do this as well. Got plenty of time left on the clock to just reset and have another go. Got Big Al out on track. Got Huey getting out of the way. Might be doing a preparation lap, trying to maybe dump some extra fuel. Definitely not on a out lap, otherwise the game would tell me so. So he's just trying to dump fuel for the moment. Nick having another crack at a flying lap through turns 1 and 2. Got Rockford getting ready for a lap as well. He's invalidated this one. He'll make his way around the final corner and have another go. Almost puts it onto the grass. You don't want to touch that grass on the outside of turn 18. Otherwise you'll do a Montoya and throw it into the outside wall. Round turns 1 and 2. Nice and tidy from Rockford. Car looks good. Through turn 3. Then 4. Keeping it off the red and white curbs. Just driving on the black stuff. Very tidy through 6. Very tidy through Dunlop as well. Oh, the exit not so much. Keeps control of it though. Clock says to the first sector he's up by just over a tenth. Back up towards the top, shall we? We've got Ryan Bell running wide again. Turn 1. Throwing the lap away. But again, he has enough time to just dawdle around the track and have another go. So he's really, really committed to sending it into 1. Not backing off for even a moment. Big Al beginning a lap with just under 2 minutes left in qualifying. One of the Verstappen-mobiles making its way out. Is it Batemate? No, it's not. So that must be Sneaky. Down in P12 at the moment. Round the left at turn 5. Then the right of turn 6. And the crucial Dunlop curve. Turn 7. Very stable there from Big Al. Car looks good through that first sector. Clock says he's up by 36 thousandths of a second. Oh, a bit sideways out of 9. Sneaky does the same in response. We head around the hairpin at turn 11. And he's actually bailed on the lap. He's had enough. So he's going to just reset himself and have one final go. Really just shows you how difficult these conditions are. Top drivers pushing the limits, but if you go that little bit too far off the road, lose control, lose a tenth, lose potentially the car to put it into a wall, as we saw the result of with Matt Plevy. Someone's jumped up. I think that was Huey. Yes, it is. P5. He's done a 1 minute 36.122, just 7 hundredths off Big Al, who's getting ready for another go. Eckham crosses the line, begins his final flying lap attempt, heads down towards turn 1. We've seen Bell throw it in. Oh, gets right up to the edge of the white line, but just about keeps 2 wheels on the tarmac. Good stuff through there, good send. Bell, he hasn't invalidated, so he's good too. And Crichton's just behind. Oh, goody goody. Oh, and so is Big Al. Alright, so the top 4, relatively line astern. Eckham first across the first sector split. He's down by 2 tenths. What about Ryan Bell? He's down by 700. Oh, and he throws it off into the wall. Probably out of frustration as Rockford and Spicer jump to P2 and 3 respectively. So Bell's session is done. Crichton still holds provisional pole position, and look at it. He's up by 2 tenths of a second in the first sector. Round 200R. Up towards Dunlop curve. Hugging the inside line. A couple of other drivers retire as well. Through Spoon, turn 13. Then turn 14, 4th gear. Back on the power. Keeps 2 wheels on the tarmac. It's what you need to do to maintain that traction. Up towards the middle sector split. The clock says for the championship leader, he's still up by 2 tenths. Through 130R, fully committed through here. Absolutely flat the whole way around the left-hander. Braking hard. Losing the backhand, but gathers it up well. Slightly compromised, though, through turn 16 and around the final corner. Crichton will set a 35. He sets the exact same lap time to the thousandth, according to the game. 7:59 is what the clocks came up with, but it came up with a plus-minus as Al jumps to the top with a 35.733. He snags pole right at the death of qualifying. How about that? Al putting it together when it mattered most. .25 thousandths of a second separating the top 2, and I reckon Crichton won't be too happy with himself. He was up by a decent chunk and he threw it away right at the final chicane. You'll line up P2, Al, a good lap right at the end of qualifying, puts him on provisional pole. Ekin P3, followed by Spicer, he'd be happy with that. Rockford as well with P5. Bell, he won't be happy with P6. Huey 7th, followed by SV in 8th. Stakey 9th, and Potsy rounds out the top 10. We have Batemate, Nick, Plevy, Stevenson, Seb, Reese Cohen, RBR, Leo, Liddell, and Jinbin at the back of the field. So, well done to RBR. Joining midway through the session, he wasn't able to properly gauge the conditions over the course of 18 minutes. To set a time that's 1.3 seconds off the pace is not a bad effort at all, honestly. That's a pretty solid effort, given the context. Well, juxtaposing conditions compared to what we had on during qualifying, it is completely dry for the beginning of this race. No real cloud cover either. So the likelihood is we won't see any rain in this race, which explains why I see a few different drivers struggling in those conditions. A lot of them were probably running dry setups during that session. Those slight changes in wing angle and in the suspension, it really does make a difference from wet weather driving compared to dry weather driving. A perfect example of this would be Jack Humphreys. I think it was the Tier 1 race at Spa where he ran a wet weather setup. In the wet, it worked a treat. He was so much faster than everyone else, but in the dry, he was as slow as a 2017 McLaren Honda. Drivers fine-tuning how much fuel they want to have in the car. Chances for a safety car are decently high, especially considering we've got a full field of cars ready to race. We have 5 red lights. We're underway. Here at Suzuka, it's a nice start from Al and from Crichton as well, who jumps into Al's racing line heading towards turn 1. 3 to wide action here as Bell tries to have a go down the inside of Rockford as we head around turn 2. Yellows are out, Seb's to the back. He's had a moment through turn 1. You can see him in the background there as we head through the S's for the first time. Rockford hangs on to P5. Bell can't improve position, but here comes Potsy in the Audi car, heading around Dunlop Curve towards Degner now. It's all line of stern as it's Crichton who leads from Big Al. So Al must have made a mistake while I wasn't watching towards the front. I was too busy looking at the leaderboard. It's Crichton who leads, Al second, Ekin third, followed by Spicer, Rockford, Bell. Oh, down the inside goes Bell on Rockford at the hairpin. Big old send there as we head through 200R. Rockford has the inside line. Can he get in front of the Germany mobile? Oh, he can just about. Bell sends it in. It's tight stuff through Spoon. Coming out now onto the back straightaway. Bell takes the position. Potsy will try and follow through. He does. That's P6 now. Rockford can't find a way back by through 130R. No way, no sir. As we head up towards the chicane. Big dive bomb here from Rockford down the inside. He's not mucking around. Neither is Potsy though. Wheel-to-wheel contact as they head around the final corner. Now Huey wants to get involved as we head on to the main straight. Crichton still maintains the lead. Potsy hard covers. Rockford doesn't care though. He's going down the inside as we head into turn 1. And he gets the position. What a move that was. Fully committed to that inside line. Oh, Cohen, what's happened? Turn 2. He spun. He's now down in last place. Line of stern stuff. Pretty much all the way through the field. Oh, Al's overtaken Crichton. At Dunlop, Crichton must have made a mistake. Tyres don't look dirty though. He's on the soft compound, I might add. One of a couple drivers. Still an interesting sight to see. Soft compound being used. Crichton would probably want to get back by. Got a bit of drama back here. What's going on? Look at this car park exiting the hairpin. Get rid of that possible strategy stuff, game. I don't need it, thank you. I don't need it right now. We're focusing on the racing. Heading up towards... Oh, someone's slowing down and getting well out of the way. Oh, look at that. That's a Miami living. Ain't that nice? Why is it orange, though, on the colour indicator? I think for a car like that, you wouldn't have an orange. Crichton gets Al. That's at 130R. Just using the grip of the soft tyre, he's able to get his way through. Ryan Bell gets Spicer as well into the chicane, so he's up to 4th. And he now has to hunt down the top 3. He's 1.3 seconds behind. Fastest laps tumble. It currently is owned by Rockford as RBR pits. Most likely for damage. Action everywhere at the moment while the field's nice and bunched up. It's good to see. But as you can also see on the leaderboard, we've got a fair old mix-up of strategies. Be interesting to find out who gets it right. SV tumbles down the order a little bit. Gets bullied down to 15th place. RBR leaves pit lane. Realistically needs a safety car to save his race. Round the hairpin. Turn 11. Half a second separates the top 2. I honestly don't think Al should be too overly concerned. Let's have a look at telemetry. 51%. Crichton's got more. 75. Eckham's done alright. 50 odd percent. Then we have Ryan Bell 25. 56 for Spicer. But then again with Bell it makes more sense. He wants to be aggressive early. Try and make up some positions after a less than ideal qualifying session. And he's now back within DRS range. Well within DRS range, as a matter of fact. Might see a change in the lead here. Levy gets Batemate. That's for P10. Maybe Crichton's run around the final corner might be a bit too much to overcome. Al will close in naturally with the power of DRS, but not by enough. Really just illustrates how much grip those soft tyres have. He's able to launch away out of the chicane, fly around the final corner, just build up that margin, keep Al at bay. Spicer 1.2 behind. Needs to do the best he can to try and catch back up. There might be only one DRS zone, but it's so helpful to have as RBR goes back into pit lane and retires from the session on lap 3, beginning of lap 4, and leaves the session. Well, so much so for joining midway through qualifying, I suppose. Gave him raps for how well he did, considering the circumstances, but he's given up the ghost. We're down to 19 cars already. Now, these strategies are going to be really, really interesting to keep an eye out for. Currently, we have 3 cars on soft compound tyres, those being Crichton, the race leader, Seb and Reese Cohen down in 19th place. Got a few on the mediums, like Ryan Bell in 4th. We have Sneaky, Plevy, and Leo in the midfield, who's on the mediums. And Stevenson a bit further back in 17th, he's on the mediums too. Everyone else is on the hard compound tyre. Now closing in. Not by enough though to attack into turn 1. In fact, he had to ride the brake a little bit as Spicer and Rockford battle for position. Heading out of turn 2, Rockford's wide. Here comes Potsy round the outside. It's not the first time these two have duelled, and Potsy wins again. He moves up into P6. Can Rockford find a way to fight back? He's lost a little bit of momentum. Now 4 tenths behind. Needs to keep his head screwed on. Try and close the gap. Round goes Sneaky in front of the field. Thankfully, the ghosting system actually worked. Now he's down in 17th place after that moment. Yeah, the ghosting system kicking in. Actually doing something for a change instead of screwing people over. Through Spoon. It's the leaders of Crichton, Al, Eckham and Bell. There's 2 seconds back to Sebastian Spicer in 5th. It's going to be very, very difficult to claw that 2-second margin back. Or you can see Eckham's looking very aggressive there in P3. He wants to find a way through. Can't do it just yet. Down the main straightaway we go. Al closing in. He actually lifts. You saw that on the telemetry. He lifted on the straight as Potsy moves through into 5th place. If anyone can catch up to that top 4, it's probably Potsy. He's going to have to drive pretty damn hard though. But the sneaky bugger, he ended up winning in Pacific Elite. Yellows are out as I'm mentioning this. It's SV and Stevenson as well. Oh, he's off the track, dearie me. Alpines are well known for their rallying pedigree, but I'm pretty certain those things do not belong in the gravel. Oh, SV's exploring the gravel as well. Dearie me. Back to your leaders. Yeah, Potsy under a different alias. He does this almost every week. Ended up winning in Pacific Elite. Had no idea it was him. Should have really guessed, if I'm being honest, but I didn't pick up on it. But he demonstrated a lot of pace and a lot of discipline as well. It was a very interesting race. Plenty of drama. He was able to filter through it quite well. And now he's right on the back of the top 4 already. It really just sort of illustrates how quick this guy is. He was able to claw back that 2-second margin. No way in hope Sebastian was closing that up. As Crichton relinquishes the race lead, Al takes it. That was with the help of DRS, but Crichton, he doesn't want to stay in second. He wants to attack for the lead. Through the S as we go. It's a tough place to try and battle, and Crichton gave it a red-hot go, but ultimately had to concede. He's now down in second position on 6-lap old softs. I'm very curious to know whether or not Crichton will pit for hard or medium compound tyres. Surely for the hard compound tyre. Stretch the mediums out for anything longer than half distance might be a bit of a stretch. Or see, Bell's now under attack from Potsy. Trying to go around the outside of Everingham, and it has not worked at all. Potsy moves through into 4th. Not sure if it was a deliberate attempt of an overtake from Bell. He might have just overshot the corner and let Potsy through. Regardless, that little mishap at turn 11 has cost him a place. He's still in this leading train, which is of course the most important thing. Spicer very close to him. You can see he's used up all his battery to try and get in this fight, but he's just a few tenths off. So you won't get any DRS assistance. Bit of a wiggle there from Ryan Bell as we head on to the main straightaway. Crichton closing in, looking to the inside. Gets it done. He leads again at the beginning of lap 8 of 27 here at Suzuka. Through the S as we go. Round turn 4. Changing positions further back. Seb moving through on Leo into 11th. Jinbin overtakes Nick. That was for 13th place. Up towards Degner. Crichton, you'll know now, there's no way he can pull away. He's trying hard to fight Al as much as he can. You can see that on the previous lap through the first sector. So obviously he wants to try and keep this track position he's got. He doesn't want to fall back into the clutches of Ecam, of Potsy or Bell. He wants to stay at the front. And if he does fall to P2, he wants to be close enough to Big Al to try and slingshot back by down the main straightaway. He just wants to keep this track position for now. He's currently doing it quite well because he's managing his battery better than anyone else in the top 5. Huey closing in on Spicer, so we might have a battle on here for P6 on track. As Crichton pits. So yeah, he has to pit on the hard tyres, surely. No way he can pit onto anything else. Huey moves on through. That's provisional 5th. And it is indeed hard tyres for the championship leader. Rockford not too far behind in this battle either, so got a neato little scrap here for 5th. Of course, we've got the main fight at the front. Al, Eckham, Potsy and Bell. That is your top 4 at the moment. towards the hairpin at turn 11. Chucking it through. It'd be fascinating now to see the dynamics between these four cars with Crichton not in it. Bell, I mean, his main goal has been achieved on these mediums to gain up a few places, but I wonder if he was hopeful for a couple more, maybe be towards P2 or even first position. He's in fourth. He's very much in the game. And that's the most important thing. You need to be here at the front. That's exactly where he's at. And that, being at the back of a DRS train, there's really not much you can do. Other than just chill out, save your tyres, maybe save a bit of battery, and just wait for the appropriate moment to try and attack the cars in front of you. Because you're not going to do it through raw aggression alone, unless you've got really good pace. Like, I mean really, really good pace, especially around a track like Suzuka. The track is tough enough to pass as it is. When you're in a DRS train, it makes it almost impossible. So when you're at the back of it, all I could recommend is just be chill. Keep your head screwed on and don't do anything stupid. And he could play himself into this with a decent undercut as well. Yellow's out just in front of Crichton. That would be Bags Liddell having a moment at turn 7. Crichton closes in on those fresher, hard compound tyres. It'll be fascinating to see what kind of undercut Crichton gets, how big it will be. I think he should overtake Al fairly comfortably, but I'm just curious, how big will that margin be? I honestly don't know. A few battles here in the midfield too. Got one, what's this for? P10, Seb leading the train. He's got GeForce Leo and Jinbin directly behind as we head towards the Casio triangle. Ryan Bell pits, so he's getting off those mediums onto a set of hards. Through the chicane. Does Seb pit? Does he blink? He does indeed. That means Leo will take the position. Jinbin directly behind him. Can he find a way through? Even with the help of the slipstream, he's not close enough to go for a move, so he stays behind the Alfa Romeo, stays in 10th place. Huey sideways there through turn 6. Losing ground to Spicer. The gap opens up to 7/10 of a second. Spicer now has a bit of clear track to operate with. Give him an opportunity to just focus on himself for a bit. Just said it a few times now, keep your head screwed on. I think that's a really important detail at a racetrack like Suzuka. It rewards drivers who are fully committed, who are able to maximize every single corner. But if you make even the slightest mistake, and I mean slight, chances are you can end up in the wall, and that's race over. So you need to remain focused and disciplined as well. Up towards the final chicane. These guys will be running a bit longer. We're not at the halfway mark yet. But these guys will be running longer on their tyres. Al will take the lead back. Hotsy, I don't think it's close enough to follow Big Al. No, nowhere near close enough. Matt Plevy pits in to get off those medium tyres. Head through the S's. Awesome piece of racetrack here at Suzuka. One of the best pieces of racetrack in the world, these S's. Very fast, very flowing, right to the edge of grip. Very rewarding. In previous games, though, that place was a total nightmare. All of those curves were auto-spin. They're a lot better now in F123. But in previous games, those curves were deathly. Touch them, you spin, likely end up in the wall. But now you can use them more appropriately. And it's so good to go through. Such a fun section. Ryan Bell getting by Bags Liddell. That is for 14th place. So to give you an idea, Crichton is 4.7 seconds ahead of Bell, and Bell was at the back of the train. So on current numbers, Al would be about maybe 2.5 behind Crichton after the pit stop cycles, but Big Al has to do a fair few more laps on these tyres. No, he's not. No, he's not. Shut up, mate. I'm wrong. He's in. He is in. 4 mediums. Really? 15 laps on those tyres. Crichton, he'll get in front. What about Bell? There he is. There's the silver car. There goes Bell. This is one interesting pit stop. 15 laps on the mediums. I'm sure it's doable, but how terrible are those tyres going to be right at the end of the session? I mean, Bell only did 11 before pitting onto hard, so Al's taking one almighty gamble with this. Not to mention as well, Crichton's found traffic. We've got Sneaky and GeForce Nick right in front. He has to find a way past both of them. Again, this is the characteristics of Suzuka playing into effect. I mean, where are you going to pass? You can try and pass perhaps into the chicane. And look at the momentum. Oh, that's awesome. Down the inside, he's going to have a go. Yeah, Sneaky drives wide, and Nick just lets him through. That went a lot smoother than what it could have went. Way smoother. Spicer's in as well. He pits for mediums. Some long stints on the mediums. It's fascinating. Head around turn 2. Next car to pass will be Jinbin, and he's on hard tyres. Or just behind as well, we've got Nick and Sneaky. Getting dicey as we head through turn 6 and around turn 7. Crichton gets Jinbin pretty easily there. A lot of respect being shown, I have to add. You don't have to give way like that. You're more than entitled to try and defend the position you've got, but these guys understand that they're on a completely different strategy. There's no need to hold them up. Very respectful indeed. Alrighty then, other people have made their stops. What about the top 2 then? That 5-car train we were watching earlier, 3 of them have already stopped. So what about these 2? Do they pit this lap or are they still going? Sideways. Potsy stays out, and so does Ekim. So these 2 are sticking to a more traditional strategy, I would think. Running longer on the hards and pitting a bit later for the mediums. Nice side-by-side duel there. Potsy hangs on well after defending the inside line at turn 1. Really tough place to pass around the outside at turn 2. It's a bit easier set at turn 1, especially if you've got momentum on your side. You can really bomb it round turn 1. But around turn 2, yeah, good luck with that. You basically need to have your nose in front midway through the corner if you want to commit to a pass around the outside of turn 2. If you're not far enough alongside either, you're just going to get forced wide on the curb. Some gaps forming here. There's now Big Al catching up, and look at Ryan Bell. Right on the back of him too. So these 2 have to carve their way through 3 cars here on much, much older tyres. Heading up towards Spoon. Huey overtakes Bags with Dell. That is for P11. Look at the pace Al's got on those fresh tyres. Oh. I think Nick's trying to get out of the way, but he inadvertently blocked Al as Ekim pits. Round 130R. We'll get it done down the inside, and he's going to have a crack at Al. Just a small crack. Al saw him coming, left him tons of room. DRS. Some battery as well. They both pass Sneaky with ease. Round turn 1, then 2. Love that brake modulation. It's just feathering the brake, making sure the front bites in, turns towards the apex, gets off the brake and gently reapplies the throttle. Love watching a good operator at work. It's great to watch. Understanding the intricacies of a driver like that. See there through turn 2. He wasn't braking particularly hard. He was braking enough to slow the car down, but make sure the front tyres kept biting in towards the corner. There's Crichton. Here's Al and Bell. So the gap 3.1. The gap's coming down. Crichton's... Yeah, I don't know how this is going to work out, because Al's going to have pretty screwed tyres by the end of this. Yellow's out. I think that's Jinbin. Bringing yellows out there. Oh, this is going to be a super interesting dynamic, because yeah, Al's tyres aren't going to be good at the end, you would think. But I don't think Crichton's will be much better either. He's going to do a real long stint on those tyres. Medium's put on now for Potsy, and he's going to be rapid. Come out P6. Here comes P7. Oh, that's guys, good stuff. And judged well there by Ekin, making sure he doesn't run into the back of Potsy. But no, good stuff, good stuff. Bell, Al, half a second apart. Al and Crichton 2.5 seconds apart, so the gap's continuing to tumble. And Al's dragging Bell along, and Bell's in a better situation when it comes to tyres compared to Crichton. Oh no! Oh no! Crichton... Oh, I hope I'll have both of them as friends, I suppose. Let's have a look. There. That one. That one is... Wait, did that jump back up to the top? E. I don't have any... Oh no. Yeah, this is why friends... these guys should friend me. I'll be able to get him back in. I'm sorry, Ekim, I don't have you. I had Crichton though, so I sent an invite out to him. Sneaky. Now on soft tyres, that makes sense. Stevenson, a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Crichton hasn't rejoined either, and now Al and Bell both taking him. Is he back now? Stop ghosting. Well, hopefully somebody gets an invite out to Ekim. He's still in a pretty decent spot. He's probably lost the ability to fight for a win, but he's definitely on for a top 5. If someone can find a way. I'll double check. Do I have him? Just jump straight to F. Dang it. Yeah. Well, hopefully someone finds a way to allow him to come back. Alright. Keep my eye on this now. That's a bit of a kick in the nuts. Al hunted down by Bell. Yeah, someone needs to give you an invite. As Crichton had a crack down the inside at turn 2, I tried to send you an invite. Oh, there's safety car. Safety car. Why is there a safety car? Reese has crashed. Well, I think with the safety car out, hopefully Matt will be able to invite you. Hopefully. Well, this changes everything. As Reese leads the session, he's had connection issues all week, Reese, and he's finally had a race where, you know, connection hasn't been a major issue and bonks the wall at 130R. So yeah, by the way, with the safety car out, everyone's pitting for softs. And I mean everyone. If you don't pit for softs, you're just shooting yourself with the 12 gauge shotgun. So you gotta pit. Yeah, he's rejoined. Good. Still in a decent position. PA. Not bad. Yeah. Everyone's pitting. You have to pit. You have to pit. You are indeed, kebab. Big brain. Into the pits. Huey. Huey. Oh no! Oh no! Well, the AI's made the decision for you. It's staying out. Oof. Bell's pitted onto mediums. So is Poxy. Crichton's back on 8-lap-old softs. What? Why is he on 8-lap-old softs? Surely he'd have more than one set of softs available to you. He might have accidentally collected used instead of new ones. I'm surprised though with how many people have pitted onto mediums. With the amount of laps to go, surely you'd pick softs. Surely. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a glitch. Like this. I've heard of people selecting a tyre that they want to have put on and then get given something completely different. It's particularly bad in mixed weather races when you select intermediates and the game gives you a new set of slicks for some reason. Ah, righto. Yeah. Might be. Oh, I wouldn't doubt it's a glitch. This game's full of bugs. We all know that. Yeah. Yeah, don't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. So what does Crichton do? Oh, I pit. There's no way he could get to the end on those tyres. He has to pit again. He has to pit. There's no way he can get those tyres to the end without them falling to bits. Surely. Despite the bullet come in. That's what he's doing too. He's pushing hard. He doesn't want to lose any more ground than he absolutely needs to. The game has royally screwed him out of this one. Soft tyres bolted on. Fresh ones too. And away he leaves. Well, the pink team just did a Ferrari strategy. I imagine Crichton will not be pleased about it. He will come out. There's 13th. There's 14th. There's 15th. Nick gets him. 15th position. Was battling for the win. Nah, Nick, I think you got the place, mate. I believe you got the place. 15th place from the lead, and yeah, yeah. I'm still surprised with Huey though, of all people. Not pitting, like, the AI ultimately decided Eckham's fate. So, what can he do? But Huey, he elected to take the track position. I mean, it's a gamble, and I always like people who try and gamble. But man, those fresh tyres are going to be awful fast. They're going to be awful fast. Real interesting to see how this dynamic works out then. We've got drivers on old mediums, we've got drivers on fresh mediums. That's another thing. Some drivers not electing to pit onto soft tyres with the amount of laps remaining. They have chosen mediums. I'm shocked on that one. Safety car in this lap. Alright, so the game's made the call. There, Toodles off the Aston Martin safety car. Huey controls the field. Everyone's got a full charge of battery, so we won't need telemetry just yet. Oh, we might have it for the start. For the restart. And then I'll switch it off afterwards. When does Huey go? This safety car has completely changed the game as Sneaky gets a 5-second time penalty for a severe collision. Huey takes off. Down the main straightaway he goes. It's lap 22 of 27. We've got 6 laps to go. Eckhart P2. He'll have to do the best he can because Rockford's right behind on fresh, soft compound tyres. Crichton's moved up to 14th already. I'm assuming Nick's let him through turn 5. Round turn 6. Lord, the grip. The grip is superior on Rockford's car. So superior, he almost went into the back of Eckham there. Through Degner. Up towards turn 9. Look at Bell, he's right behind Rockford too. Into the hairpin, Kobayashi corner. It's tight stuff. Rockford to the inside, he should have traction. Around 200R now. Looking round the outside. Eckham shuts the door, shuts it hard, slams it in his face. As we head around Spoon, turns 13 and 14. Behind is Al and Potsy, side by side, exiting Spoon. Exiting turn 14, onto the back straightaway. Rockford 2/10 behind, Eckham 2/10 behind as well. It's a tie battle at the front. Anyone game enough to go for a move? Not yet. Through the Casio triangle and around the final corner. Baitmate takes Plevy. That's for P8. Down the main straightaway we go. Eckham in the slipstream. Has a brief look down the inside. Rockford round the outside of turn 1. Wheel-to-wheel contact as they head into turn 2. Oh, it's tight stuff exiting the right-hander through the left of 3, then the right of 4, then the left of 5. He's on the grass, and around the outside goes Bell again. He's wide. He makes contact with Eckham. He's sliding about in the middle of the track as Eckham's way off the circuit, and Bell retires from the session in the middle of the track. He is out of the Japanese Grand Prix. Oh my giddy aunt. And Potsy is all the way outside of the top 10. Down in 14th position. Drama again at Kobayashi corner. We got cars around. Eckham rejoining down in 17th place. And Bell retired. He voluntarily retired. He didn't actually crash. You can see his AI actually moved. But this is now the battle at the front. Huey leads, Rockford second, Al third, Spicer fourth. Suddenly Huey's decision to take track position is working out pretty damn well as we head into the Casio triangle. Towards the final corner now, a big old slide from Rockford. He can sense an opportunity to win this race here at Suzuka as it's now lap 24. DRS is now enabled. Rockford to the inside. There's very little Huey can do about this. Doesn't have the grip he wants. He runs wide. How can he find a way through? Heading into turn 3. He goes around the outside and does indeed take P2. Spicer's close as well. Sensing a podium finish. Can't find a way through on the pink Alpine. He stays in P4 for now. I must say, one man who was gifted a lot from this is Crichton. He was down in 15th at the restart. With all the shenanigans that have happened, he's up inside the top 10 in P8. Seb P7, Matt Plevy P6, Baitmate in the top 5. Be pretty happy with this at the moment. Spicer on for a potential podium as we head into Spoon. Turns 13 and 14. He might have given him a serve there. That was very close. Down the back straight away we go. Dumping the battery. Closing in bit by bit. Not enough though to attack Huey. He dumped a fair amount of battery, but so did Huey. You can tell from the red light. Here he comes. Down the inside. Into the chicane. It's tight. There's contact. They make it work though. And there's some battling behind. Oh, and Seb almost loses it. DRS open on both cars as they head down the main straightaway. Spicer overtakes Huey. That's for P3. A valiant effort there from Huey. Top notch, considering how old those tyres are, as Stevenson retires from the session. We're down to 15, which means everyone who finishes will score points. Now Crichton's catching up to Plevy. He's not done. Bags Liddell a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Jinbin gets by Bags Liddell. Liddell probably ran off. Oh, Jinbin definitely run off there at turn 8. He's wide at 9. Oh, he's got no front wing. He's got no front wing on that car. Dearie me. He's found a lot of trouble, Jinbin. Crichton down the inside. Gets in front. That's 7th. Down the back straight away towards 130R. Should have enough momentum to keep Plevy at bay. Back towards the front. It's Rockford, Al and Spicer. That's the top 3. Huey's still hanging on to the back of Spicer. And if he does that, it would be very difficult for Bankmate to try and find a way through as Liddell tumbles down to P12. 2 laps to go here at Suzuka. There's a big chance here for Rockford to win his first race of the Pacific Tier 1 Championship. Baymay actually finds a way through on Huey, so even with DRS, Baymay was able to slingshot by. We were able to see that with Spicer actually. Huey's car doesn't have a lot of straight line speed, so he's basically clinging on for dear life right now. He can't really defend, he can't really attack, he's just clinging on to what he can. Back to the front, half a second is the gap. So we head up towards turn 11, Kobayashi corner. Rockford's hanging on pretty well. Let's turn on the telemetry, shall we? 43% for Al, 21% for Rockford. Decent difference of 20%. Could be just enough of a advantage for Al to try and take the race lead on the final lap. But he needs a perfect final sector to try and line up Rockford. And that's exactly what he's going to try and do. Into 130R. Then towards the chicane. Needs to get this spot on. Doesn't need to attack. Just needs to line Rockford up. And that's exactly what he's doing. Is he close enough? He should be. It's the final lap. Lap 27 of 27 here at Suzuka. Rockford can't defend that. Out to the inside. Takes the lead. But he sends it back through down the inside. He gets back in front. Oh my word. He properly sent it in. Somehow pulled the car up. And now Bankmate in 3rd place. Now has a chance to perhaps fight for P2, maybe even P1, depending on how hard these two battle at the front. Baymate, what an effort on those mediums, doing superbly on those tyres. I suppose after 7 laps, those softs really do die out. Round the hairpin at Kobayashi corner. Look at them all. Line astern. Rockford, Al, Bankmate, Spicer, Crichton. Bugger all separating them. Baymate's close, but he's low on battery. He can't do much at the moment. Onto the back straight away. It was one godly send from Rockford to take the lead back at turn 2. Gonna have to defend like hell heading into the triangle. He covers the inside line. Al looking around the outside. He's out of battery, Rockford. Sends it in. Covers off Big Al as we head around the final corner for the final time. It will be Rockford who wins the Japanese Grand Prix. Al home in second. Batemate, a superb third. What a bonkers end to that one. Look at them all. Line astern. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We'll just be waiting on Jinbin, our final finisher. He will end up scoring points down in 15th. But what a finish to this Japanese Grand Prix. The safety car completely changed the complexion of that one. Seb given driver of the day. See their performance in the final results screen. But for now, it's a podium celebrations. And for Rockford, it's his first podium of the season. Astonishingly enough, it's a race win. Claims victory here at Suzuka. Big Al home in second. Batemate completing the podium places in third. Now this, mind you, are very, very provisional results. I wouldn't be surprised if there were a few incident reports submitted after this one. But as of right now, Luke Rockford is your race winner with Big Al home in second place and Batemate completing the podium places in third. Excuse me, Sebastian Spicer, excuse me, in P4. Crichton recovers to fifth. I think that's not too bad after what happened during the safety car period. From 15th position, said finishing P6. Yeah, no wonder. Driver of the day performance, that is. Look at Leo, P18 to P7. He made up more spots. So, yeah, game robbing Leo of that one. Plevy P8, followed by Potsy in 9th. Nick rounds out the 10. And we have Eckham, Sneaky, Liddell, Huey, and Jinbin, our final finisher. 5 retirements, Stevenson, SV, Bell, Cohen, and RBR. Fastest lap to Jinbin as well, so he ends up scoring that one extra point. That's 2 dramatic races in a row here at Suzuka. Pacific Elite and Pacific Tier 1, man, they're turning it up. The competition levels are genuinely insane. That was one hell of a dive bomb as well by Rockford there at turn 2. Damn near slammed the both of them off the racetrack, but somehow they both pull it up. Get it round. Man, that was a truly chaotic final few laps, all because of that safety car. I think though, folks, we were destined to have a decent race finish. That top 5 scrap was fantastic to watch, and the strategies that were being used during that event allowed for some very interesting racing as well. But ultimately, all of that meant nothing when once the safety car came out after Cohen's accident. So, yeah, that was insane. There was a lot of really aggressive driving right at the end there, giving it everything to try and hang on to every bit of position they can. Whew. But congrats to our top 3. Congratulations to you, Mr. Rockford, on your first win of the season. But of course, I wouldn't be surprised if questions were asked after that dive bomb at turn 2. Similar incident took place in the Elite Series at Bahrain with none other than Mr. Big Al, so I wouldn't be surprised if questions were brought up again. But for now, congratulations on your race win. Congratulations to both Al and Batemate as well. Batemate, your first podium of the season. Well put together race. I didn't think those mediums would switch on by the end of the race, but they sure as hell did. You look quite quick right at the end of that race, so well done finishing P3. But I think, folks, with everything said and done, it's now time for us to end the stream. I have been Lane Everingham. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and we'll see you next week for round 7 of the championship at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for the Canadian Grand Prix. Until then, it's goodbye.